Today, we're talking about the numerology for November. Super excited to be here with you. Lots to dive into. But first, let's ring the bell. This is the bell of clarity. This is the bell of waking up. This is the bell of your awareness. And waking up, being awake, means that you are standing in some truth. You have come to a place where October may have delivered you some information that has helped you to see everything clearly. The bell has sounded. And that's what we're going to talk about today, how best to use November in the way that best suits you, how to understand numerology in the context of Kundalini Yoga, and stay on till the end, and I'll explain to you once and for all what that 1111 stands for, so that whenever you see it on a clock, on a digital clock, you have an idea of what's happening. Okay, so all of that and a bag of chips. Today we're on for about 30 minutes, so come in, come a little closer, and let's start this conversation about the number 11, numerology, and where it can take you. Okay, so last month's numerology, which is still posted here on my page, was about October, and that number 10 being your sovereignty, your radiance. And part of being sovereign and radiance is starting to open the door for the truth, for big revelations. And now we are tiptoeing into November, the number 11. And the number 11 has a lot to do with the idea and the concept of integration. And integration is what we do with that truth. Be it uncomfortable, be it, I knew it all along. Whatever it was that started to emerge for you in October, now you get to land it. Now you get to take that plane and land it. Now you get to take that truth and make it have purpose and meaning for you. And it's going to require you to take action. So it's one thing to think about something, it's another thing to feel about something, and yet a whole other to take action. And so that's what November is about. It's all of those pieces. It's taking the awareness, it's taking the feeling place, and it's making some moves. So that's what I want you to think about right now. What is your life asking you to wake up to? What is it asking you to become clear and honest with? And as you become clear and honest with it, maybe it's happening right now as we're having this conversation, it could be then a plan for what the next couple of months mean. Because we're here now in the tail end of 2025. And I don't know about you, but there were lots of surprising events, lots of things that took place that I couldn't see coming. And wow, am I ever glad that I listened to that beautiful, tender, powerful place inside of me that knew before my mind could know, knew before I could believe it to be true, knew. And I bet that every single one of you who's watching this had some inkling of what the truth was. And so you're called into it. And as you were called into it, you get to make those next moves. Now, why am I even talking about this? What does a yoga therapist have to do with numerology? And what is the purpose? If you're just joining us now, love that you're here. I'm going to talk about 1111 at the end. So please hang on and we'll get to that juicy little nugget about numbers in a short while. So here's the idea. If Kundalini Yoga is the medicine, then what is the prescription? How do we choose from the thousands and thousands of kriyas and meditations and breath work? How do we choose? Numerology is how we choose. And numerology is the study of the year, month, and date of birth. That's the science. And you, the art form that is embodying those dates and those numbers. Because you not only chose your family, your nation, your all the circumstances of your birth, including your caregivers, you also chose your date of birth because you knew you needed a map. How am I going to navigate all of this? I am a spiritual being. How am I supposed to embody this vessel and go through this earthly life when I don't have the experience? And that's where it comes from. So the circumstances of your birth is let's say the why, and your date of birth becomes the how. How am I going to navigate all of this? And that's where we get to have life. And we get to have a life made of choice, and we have the life made of circumstances, and then we get to navigate. And when you pull the lens back, and you look at all the wisdom traditions of the world, all of them, they say, okay, here are the circumstances. Your best bet in all of this is to your best bet in all of this is to remain as detached as possible. Okay, and that doesn't mean uncaring and unfeeling. What that means is a matter of and being a witness to as much of it as you possibly can. The 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 sad, the disgusting, the joyful, the uh, those precipice moments, those tower moments, all of it. And all of that is mapped out in your numerology, how you will navigate all of that. And then the really interesting part is which of the practices in Kundalini Yoga can help you through this moment. And that's what we're looking for. So when you sit in a numerology consult with me, we talk about life, we get super juicy, super deep. We go beyond the superficial and the shallow and the things that other people want to talk about, how their day was, what happened in their day. But we go really deep into what is the spiritual matter here? What is this showing us? And what are the lessons we need to distill here? And once we get to the heart of that matter, we get to the truth of that, then the choosing of the Kriya, the meditation, the practice, then becomes the the oil on the wheel, so to speak. So if things are feeling clunky or feeling slow or stuck, then we start to apply movement. We start to apply the prana, the life force of breath, to get things moving. And it's very powerful and it's very effective and it works. And that's why it's lasted this long. Okay, so that's the context of what numerology is in relationship to Kundalini Yoga. So as a yoga therapist, part of my work, especially in private consults, that's in numerology sessions or in my one-to-one coaching, this is the root of our discovery. Okay, here's what the personality is doing. Personality is freaking out. Personality is mad. Personality is upset. Personality is confused, doesn't know what to do. But the soul knows. And so we sit down, you and me, for 60 minutes and wipe away these cobwebs of the personality and go right to the soul and say, okay, what's the lesson that's playing out here? And your month of birth is really um, one of the places that I look at most intensely because that's where all the lessons surface. So if your month of birth is November, then you're getting a real big gift right now. And you're getting to see what your challenges are. And chances are that your challenges aren't just about, they're recurring. Okay. So whatever's coming up in this month for you, this is where they recur. And this is your time where you can actually hone in a little bit and say, okay, I see the pattern. I see the person, I see the pattern. I'm going to believe the pattern. I'm going to see this thing playing out and playing out and playing out. And I'm going to put a little love and attention and concern with the pattern itself. And let's see if I can adjust the pattern so that the personality can also adjust. Right? So it's a really beautiful process. We laugh, we cry, we we deconstruct, and then we come back to it. And in that process of us sitting down for a numerology consult, we build a foundation, we build a relationship, because it's not just a one and done. 10 days later, I'm going to check in with you. 20 days later, I'm going to check in with you. And 40 days later, I'm going to check in with you. How's it going? What's happening? What is come of this? Okay. So drop a comment below. Let me know if you're listening live. It'd be great to know what drew you to this session today. What's your month of birth? Where are you coming in from in the world? And give me a little bit here to work with. I want this to be um, meaningful and inspiring and insightful for you. And I think there's some really big key elements that we can take away from this month. Remember that October was an opportunity to take a sneak peek into what the next year is bringing you. So, did you notice, was there a lot of harvesting? Were you able to bring things in? Did you notice that things were being released? Things, people, experiences, were they being released? Did you get to a point where you got to your no finally? Did you get to a place where you got to your yes finally? And however way that came across, we had eclipses in the sky, we had full moons that were very powerful. All of that had something to do with your numerology, and all of that had something to do with what you were ready and willing and able in your nervous system to do. Okay, so I want to make sure that this is a balanced conversation because we can make decisions in our mind. Okay, this situation is not for me anymore. I feel myself outgrowing it. I feel like it's not what I hoped it would be. And to start to think about what's next. And the what's next, as I mentioned before, has to come from action. And that's the action of the body, not just making a decision here, but how is it feeling? And once you get to that feeling place, you can actually take the action. Okay. So I want to make sure that that is with you wholeheartedly, that it's not just a matter of make a decision, do it, but actually feeling safe enough to do it. Are your basic needs being met? Do you know who's in the parameter of your life able to support the decisions that you're going to make? Do you have enough mental clarity in order to do that? Are you willing and able to deal with the consequences of the decisions that you're making? And if so, then you'll get a green light. If not, you may see this repeat. And that's okay too. It's okay if things repeat. And then there will be a point where you'll be ready. You'll seen it enough times where you'll know this is not changing, or you'll see yourself enough time and you'll say, I need to change. And when those two come together, you may have this moment where you say, okay, so here we are in November, and we want to start integrating all of that learning. Okay, so whether you're continuing on with something, seeing how things play out, or you've decided, hey, I'm going in a different direction, now you get to make that your reality. Okay, so if you're in it, you're in it. You're going, you're going full force, you're in it. If you're out, you're out. And this is some of the borrowing of last month, very clear direction. And once you get there, you get to make sense of it all. Okay, so now as you come into November, you're going to take a look around at all the wisdom and wealth that you have accumulated, right? So November is about, or the month of November, the number 11 actually, it represents this concept of wealth and wisdom. And so when you have that in your numerology, we're all facing it now. There are major things going on in the world as I speak, as you listen to this, and you'll start to see where experience starts to show up. You'll start to see where your life experience starts to become part of your net worth. Okay, so not just your network, not just your money, but your worth in the world comes from your life experience. So that is highlighted very much for us in the month of November, is to look around and really lean in. Oh yeah, I've learned this before. Oh yeah, I know this already. I know how to bake that cake. I know how to calm that situation. I know how to calm myself down. And I know that Kundalini Yoga can be a friend of mine along the way. So there's a lot of techniques that I want to offer you now. One of them I started with, and that is Sound. So sound is one of the key characteristics of this month and how you can soothe yourself. So maybe it's crystal bowls, maybe it is the sound of a gong, maybe it's the voice, maybe you go somewhere and listen to a choir, but this is the month of vibration. So if you're thinking something, wanting something, the vibratory frequency of you is where it all starts to land. So I highly recommend drum circles, sound baths, those kind of experiences will really allow you to soak in that vibratory frequency and also put your vibratory frequency out into the world. I have a question here for 1111. Yes, you hang on till the end, and I definitely will offer you some insight into what 1111 means and how to make sense of it, especially when you see it right in front of you. Okay. So those are some things. So I was talking about technique. So sound is a big one. And the other places are to do full body techniques. Okay, so Kundalini Yoga is amazing because it is a blending of sound, movement, breath work, and meditation. So all of those components allow you to have a really holistic approach to your month. So if you haven't selected a Kriya for November, now's the time to go in. You can take a look at some of my playlists, and those are very clear about what they're focused on. So if you don't want to look at all 700 videos here, but you want to focus in on maybe your mental health, maybe there's a physical attribute that you want to take a look at. Maybe it's Kundalini Yoga for the spine. Maybe it's Kundalini Yoga for courage. Maybe it's for trust. All of those elements you'll find in the playlist. So this is a really good time. We're on the cusp of November. So go ahead and find yourself a practice. Do your best to commit to it every day for as long as you possibly can. The ideal amount of time is 40 days. If you can commit to 2 days, amazing. If you can go to 3 days, amazing. And that's what I highly recommend. Keep 40 as a goal, but day by day, give yourself the opportunity to choose your practice, choose yourself. And when you do that, the 40 days starts to pass because 40 days will pass anyway. And every day you will be opting for yourself. And I think that's something that we all really need right now is to opt in, opt for ourselves. There are all the decisions to be made need to be made here before going out and making them external. So when you sit with your practice, when you sit with your own sweet self and you ask yourself those important questions, um, how does this feel? What do I need to nurture right now? And you give yourself the statement, this too belongs, you start to integrate. Okay, so we want to integrate all of those things. All the places where we may have pushed our truth aside, bring it in now, integrate. The 11 is also the ability to generate. And we generate that from conviction, we generate that from commitment. And so, again, this is a really good time to commit to your practice. Okay. So I'm open now for any questions. So if you're watching live, please do type in some things. And then I want to invite you into a few other ideas, a few other ways. You can always work with me for a numerology consult. That's kind of a one and done. There's also Soul Compass coaching. I have incredible clients, very deep. We have very deep conversations about what life is offering, how to navigate relationships, how to navigate circumstances with children, with partners, with parents, and then how to deal with the state of the world. That's another really big part of what's happening right now is that the world feels like it's changing really dramatically. And so we need to be prepared for that. And then there's also Kundalini Yoga training. Now, what I love about that is that if you are a fan of Kundalini Yoga, you have 20 people in a closed container in an environment where Kundalini Yoga is the driver of our conversations. We really get to hone in on what do we need as a spiritual practice? What do we need to fuel our growth and our development? And how do we stand steady for all the changing times around us? And that's coming from the yogis. We were the original activists. You can't deal with oneness unless you deal with the whole of humanity, and that includes us. Okay, so what is 1111? Why does it matter? And thank you for staying on till the end. If you're still here, yay. Okay, so we have the number 11, and then we have 11, and if you look at it differently, we have four fours. And this is where it gets really interesting. 1111 is 11 itself is very directional. When you meet somebody who's born on the 11th, when you meet somebody who is born in the month of November, what they're looking for is directional force. Okay, that's the, maybe the grid lines on a road, the line that separates traffic, this moving traffic from that moving traffic. It is a directional force. And so when you see two 11s show up, so 1111, what you're really looking at is here is a pivotal moment. Okay, so when you see 1111, here is the pivotal moment showing up. This is confirmation that you're in the right place at the right time. You are in the direction that you need to be in. Period, full stop. And as you accept that reality, accept it with your full heart, not like, oh, am I really? Or really? Rather than question, make it a statement. Your intuition speaks in statements, and your anxiety will speak in questions. So, this is an invitation from the soul of the world to notice the moment and stay steady with it. Not to question, but to confirm, yes, I'm in the right place. I hope that was helpful for you. I'm going to leave this video recording up for a couple of days so that you can take a look at it. If you're looking to book a numerology consult with me, and I hope you do because I love meeting with all of you, go ahead and take a look at yogavision.com. That's my website. You can also look at all the links below this video and see the links there, but go and take a look around. Come in a little bit closer. Videos are amazing, but when we have live conversation, everything starts to amp up. Our ability to connect and move things forward becomes intensified in a really good way. Okay. Remember, there's no bad numbers around your date of birth, and there are 5 numbers. So we talked about November. If this is your month of birth, this is your challenge. If this is the day you were born on, this is who you are. And then I'll decode all the other ones with you, and we'll find the perfect Kriya to help you move forward with whatever life is lifing for you right now. Lots of love. My name is Salimah, yoga therapist. If this was helpful, give it a like, give it a follow, give it a subscribe, send it to somebody who's born in November, send it to somebody who's born on the 11th, and I will see you very soon in a consult. Lots of love, yogavision.com, and I'll see you soon. Bye.